Thanks, Tyler, and thank you for tuning in to the Amherst Weekly Report. Hello and welcome to the Amherst Weekly Report from Amherst Media. I'm Ariana Gonzalez. On February 22, Amherst Town Council members proposed raising town councilors' salaries. Council members Michelle Miller and Ellie Che Walker proposed a raise from $5,000 to $10,000 per year. The proposal includes a salary of $25,000 for the town council president position and a bonus of $500 for committee chairs. It would also include family care reimbursement of up to $16 per hour spent in town council meetings. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, childcare costs in the U.S. increased by 40% between 1990 to 2011. This motion would afford women, who are most likely to be primary caregivers, the opportunity to take part as community leaders with greater support. As the proposal states, Amherst ranks lowest in counselor salaries against a benchmark of 10 other communities in the state, but one of the communities offer health insurance benefits of up to 85% for part-time elected officials. Continuing, as a strong policy leader in the Commonwealth, it is important that Amherst counselors' compensation is on par with or exceeds surrounding communities. The sponsors of the proposal suggest that the Finance Committee review counselor compensation at the 15-month mark of each 2-year council term. This will account for the unanticipated financial events, such as inflation. Sponsors also hope that these changes will make the council member position more accessible in the future. On to our next story. Fed up and let down, Amherst educators are refusing to work beyond their contracted hours over a stalemate in contract negotiations. 95% of the Amherst Pelham Education Association, or APEA, voted to enact what they call the Working to Rule initiative that began on February 27th. In doing so, the APEA hopes to resume the bargaining process with the school committee, in person and without the mediation of lawyers. The Working to Rule initiative states that Amherst educators will do more than what they are obligated. This means they will enter and leave their workplaces at contracted times, refuse to complete voluntary and unpaid work, and hold back from any extra activities unless there's a guarantee of payment through stipends. Teachers and other members of the association feel that they have gone above and beyond to provide students a first-rate education, but they cannot continue to do so unless they are acknowledged and compensated by the school committee. Amherst educators have been working under an expired contract since January of the 2022-23 school year. Educators have been in negotiations since January of 2022. APA members are demanding a new contract that protects educators and student programming from cuts, offers fair and competitive wages, and guarantees better compensation specifically for para-educators, the lowest paid employees. Before the official enactment of Working to Rule, educators had been walking out at the end of their workdays to hold rallies outside of their respective schools. Working to Rule represents an escalation of tactics. The University of Massachusetts Amherst Black Student Union hosted the Black History Month Showcase on February 26. The event was held in the ballroom of the UMass campus. BSU said about the event, "We plan to show how Blackness has developed and how it is today. This evening will demonstrate the beauty in the African diaspora." The event showcased performers commemorating Black culture. The showcase started with caterers handing out a menu that offered food from different Black cultures, including jollof rice, sweet fried plantains, jerk chicken, and puff puff. Then the show went on. Performers consisted of special guests Kid Fob, Marco, Aphrodite's, the UMass Gospel Choir, a dance performance from the UMass Amherst students of Caribbean ancestry, and more. Performer Giuliani, who performed the song, "A Change Is Gonna Come," said, "It feels like home to celebrate together with people that understand you and your background. We are easily overlooked and have overcome so many trials and tribulations in our lives." She went on, "A month is not even enough to give the Black community the recognition and love we deserve, but celebrating with what we have is still memorable." The UMass Black Student Union is already planning their next event, the Race to Solnick, a week full of activities bringing Black culture together on campus. The event is set to take flight on the 23rd of April. The Emily Dickinson Museum, located in Amherst, Massachusetts, is reopening for tours and guests after a routine winter break. Before the 2022 season, it was closed for nearly 3 years due to the pandemic. The museum is open Wednesdays to Sundays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The tours consist of being taken through the rooms of where famous poet Emily Dickinson once lived. Tickets are now on sale from March through May, as they are required upon entry to the museum due to COVID-19 safety precautions. Tickets cost $16 for adults, $13 for seniors, $10 for students 18 and older, and are free for anyone aged 17 and under, as well as students apart from the 5 colleges. Now to Emily Taranelli and Tyler Beraldi for the Sports Report.
Thanks, Ariana. With spring semester fully in swing, the UMass Minutewomen have yet again found themselves entrenched in the A10 tournament after a dominant victory against George Washington University. This win secured UMass a share of the A10 regular season title and was largely accomplished through the stellar play of back-to-back A10 Player of the Year Sam Breen, who nabbed her 16th double-double on the season with 23 points, and Destiny Philoxy, who dropped 15 herself. The squad finished their regular season with a 24-5 overall record and 14-2 in-conference record, propelling them to the 1 seed where they'll have to match up against the 9 seed George Mason Patriots. They'll enter this matchup heavy favorites, especially considering that beyond Sam Breen's unprecedented second consecutive A10 Player of the Year award, the team overall won 6 postseason awards as well, including all-conference honors for Berniah Mayo and Sydney Taylor, and an all-defensive honor for Destiny Philoxy. Coming off a year where the Minutewomen were able to bring the A10 championship back to the Mullins Center, expectations have never been higher, with the potential for a back-to-back run on the horizon. Another championship would forever etch the names of these women into not just UMass, but A10 conference history. Minutemen basketball, on the other hand, is a bit of a contrasting image. The team currently stands at 14-15 with an abysmal 5-12 record in the conference. Their most recent contest saw Duquesne University hand them an 88-70 loss on the road, despite them bringing the game within 2 points in the final 12 minutes. The Minutemen will hope to bring that win-loss ratio to a more palatable 500 against St. Bonaventure to round out their season on Saturday. Regardless of the outcome there, while Frank Martin's first season at head coach won't necessarily be looked back on with vitriol, it certainly will be cited as a disappointment. Whether fans will look to the future with a glass-half-empty or glass-half-full mindset will largely depend on how they close out against St. Bonaventure. So the biggest stakes at play may just be team morale. After years of inactivity, the UMass boxing team has started off their competition season strong, securing 2 victories at Lock Haven University last Saturday. Senior Paulo Garcia not only won his first bout at 176 pounds, but also won Fighter of the Night at the event. The team will next travel to Trinity University this weekend, where senior Guy McCauley will be having his debut match in the 165-pound division. Heading back to the realm of disappointment, we round out our coverage today with Minutemen hockey, who find themselves struggling to stay afloat with a record of 11-16-5 and an in-conference record of 5-14-3. Their most recent weekend series saw them take on Northeastern University, where they managed to scrape by with a 3-2 victory on Friday, but then suffered a crushing 0-4 defeat the following day. The squad will be finishing up their regular season against Maine, with some of the only bright spots on the year being Scott Morrow and Ryan Ufko being semi-finalists for the 71st Walter Brown Award, and rookies Cole O'Hara and Michael Cameron providing more hope for the future. Much like men's basketball, the highest stakes for this final series against Maine might just be the outlook and team morale implications, and whether we should view this season from, again, a glass half empty or glass half full perspective.
Last weekend, the Amherst women's swimming and diving team sent 3 divers to the NCAA Northeast Regional Diving Championships. The results? 2 of them walked away with tickets to nationals. Hosted at NYU, each diver performed 11 dives on the 1-meter and 3-meter springboards. Sophomore Sydney Bluestein blew away the competition as the runner-up in both events. On 1 meter, Bluestein executed dives with a combined difficulty degree of 22.80 and scored 421.15 points. On 3 meter, Bluestein scored 430.55 points and had a total difficulty degree of 24.10. These standout performances are nothing new for Bluestein. In their conference championships, Bluestein is the reigning champion on both boards. Meanwhile, first-year Donna Zong scored 404.65 points on 1 meter to place 4th, and 418.65 points on 3 meter to place third. Zong's total difficulty degree was 22.40 for each event. And Zong's stellar performances made Zong finish higher than any other competitor in the class of 2026. Senior Hannah Kalizo also competed at regionals, placing 13th on 1 meter and 9th on 3 meter. However, unlike Bluestein and Zong, Kalizo's diving season wrapped up right here. The duo's top 4 finishes seals the deal for them to compete in the NCAA Division III Swimming and Diving Championships, which are slated to take place in Greensboro, North Carolina in mid-March. The divers qualified alongside 6 others from the region and will join 5 Amherst swimmers in representing the college. Back to you, Ariana.
Thank you for tuning in to another season of the Amherst Weekly Report. I'm Ariana, and we'll see you at the same time next week.